it's not just, just marketing NFTs, it's also just I understand NFTs myself, so I actually want to profit from it.
Hello, NFT enthusiasts, collectors, creators, and the ilk of that nature from around the world. This is the Nifty Show. I'm Joel Comm, and that other fellow over there, that would be Sir Lord Travis Wright with an extremely long title that I can never remember anymore.
We need to update these, producer, Sir Lord Travis, Sir Lord Joel Comm. I mean, where's the honor?
Where's the pomp? Where's the circumstance?
Where's the pomp? Sir Lord Archbishop Travis Wright, Doctor of Space and Time.
It'd be these real teeny little titles. And, you can't even read them. If
well,
you can read
amazing.
this,
you can get all these certificates from all over. So it's like,
I know.
I got mine. It's in a box. I can show you. I'm now officially Archbishop.
You are certifiable, that's for sure. So, one of the topics in the NFT world, especially for creators, is how to pull off a successful launch. With so many projects launching every day now, I like to go into Rarity Tools and to what's coming up on Wax Guide and look at what has launched and how many they've sold. And the number of projects that are selling out are getting smaller and smaller just because there's so many more projects out there. But there are people who have succeeded quite well in the space, and they have some methodologies that have worked for them. Today, I'm pleased to welcome Mr. Arvin Khamseh, who is a Fortune 500 marketer and an NFT marketer, to the show. Arvin, how you doing, bro?
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, you've worked with some NFT projects that have sold out to the tune of millions of dollars. And so wanted to bring you on here today to share about some of the best practices. I think it's going to be really useful for people. But why don't you give us like the 30-second version of your background, and then we'll jump in.
Yeah, sure. So I got into marketing back in 2012, and I've worked with a lot of small businesses, and then I got into working with larger companies, public companies, doing their investor relationship marketing. And then when the time for NFT was very hot, which is still the case, I got into, first I started as trading NFTs, and then I had a successful launch with one artist in Italy, had a proof of concept, and then I got into actually doing it on a larger scale. And I had like brands like Woman of Crypto hit top 40 on the OpenSea, number one trending on OpenSea, number one on IC Tools, and I continue to work with projects when I hit the top 5.
Yeah, that's exciting. This whole NFT space is it's new to a whole lot of people. Joel and I think we mentioned NFTs for the first time in 2017. Which some have said it's actually the first time a podcast actually even said anything about NFTs. Now we're starting to notice more marketers and more people that have been in the digital space coming into this. I mean, hell, Gary Vee hadn't even heard about NFTs last January, and then he sold $90 million worth of NFTs. So let me ask you this: when you're vetting a project, right? And we're looking at your website here at selloutnfts.io. When you're looking and you're vetting a project, what are some of the things that you're looking for to find to see like, oh, this is $1 million, this is a sellout project? What are some of those key attributes you're looking for?
Yeah. So the way actually I work with people, I don't just get into like just have a call with them and then just get into working with people. It's more like I do a few consultations with them. I get to know them. I get to see like what their ideas like, the roadmaps and everything. And you can kind of tell if let's say they have the stuff on their roadmap that's just like another brand. They kind of copy pasted things, not a lot of thoughts go into it. If they're a docs team or not, if they have any experience in the actually making money online, or they're just like complete newbies. And so there's a lot of things that I look for. And then also, I think the biggest thing I think about is like, do they have a plan past their mint date? Because a lot of people coming in and just thinking, oh, here's what we're gonna do to sell out, and like here's our plan, blah blah blah. But then they never talk. Some people never talk about like what are you gonna do after? What are you gonna do after you sold out? And so those are
Take the money. I'm gonna take the money. That's what a
and
lot of people
buy
do,
bored apes,
right?
go to some villa in Italy, drinking margarita while other people, still
Yeah, not
wondering
not
why they
serving
roll.
the audience. So
Yeah.
one of the projects you worked on was this one right here, San
Yeah.
Vegas Casino Club. I bought one of these. I minted one
Oh
during the
wow.
sale. I did not know that it was yours, but
Cool.
this one sold out and brought in how much?
Over 5 million. So they had 11111 at the price point was 0.07 at a time that was about $600. And this was so they started with me. They had like 86 members December, I want to say 14th. And then on December 27th, we hit about 80K, actually, sorry, 30K Discord members. And then we sold out about a day later in 20 hours.
Wow. That's just one of the projects. What I want to do is I want to make this instructional here. So, one of the most instructional things for me when people consult with me is I tell them what not to do, right? Because you can save somebody a lot of money if they don't make fatal errors. So, what are some of the things that you tell people launching NFTs to avoid like the plague?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is that a lot of people who are getting into NFTs, sometimes they're just artists and they found some developers and a bunch of other team members and they're trying to launch. They don't necessarily have a lot of experience in business or internet marketing. And so sometimes just taking it like very seriously, just like any other business, I think that's like a really good mindset. But there are little details too. Like, for example, as far as mint date, like when to have your mint date. I think it's very important, obviously, not to have it. And again, this is obviously very understandably important to think about these things ahead of the time, but you don't want it to be right around a time where there's like the largest project, let's say in the NFT world, is doing their launch, because everyone's just going to be focused on them instead of your project, right? You also want to do like a proper deployment of that. So meaning you don't. So there was one project, they hit their numbers on Discord, Twitter, and randomly they just made an announcement, said like in 2 days we're gonna have our mint date. So they didn't declare it until then, but the problem was no one knew. Like it's not like everyone's sitting on Discord, everyone's just like following Twitter. They know exactly what you're gonna do, and they know like they can't read your mind. So you have to do like proper deployment of the mint date, meaning like you need at least like 7 days. Actually doing retargeting on social media platforms, talking about it with like making a lot of announcements. You need a lot of good hypes, like maybe even influencers talking about your stuff. Another point I've seen, which is becoming even like more prevalent right now, is website getting hacked or crashed. The Discords getting hacked as well. So those things becoming a lot more prevalent right now, and it's actually it's something that people can avoid. Like basically, don't, like on Discord, for example, don't give access to people that they don't need to have certain access. And for website, I mean, obviously, like for example, Woman of Crypto, they had like a million hits on their whitelist day, and the website crashed. So it happens like to a lot of brands actually. Like thinking about it, every single brand I worked with, their website crashed on their mint day. So I think that's something that they can avoid, and it's actually very important, because if, for example, on the day the whitelisters are actually minting, if the website crashes, and this happened to one brand I was advising, if the website crashes and no one mints because they just physically cannot, then a lot of newbies, they don't follow every single news on Discord, or they don't follow everything. They just think this project is a bomb. Like they're just not gonna go mint on the public sale. And so that could just accidentally make the project just not go really well. I think another thing is like how people acquiring their Discord members and Twitter members, I guess Twitter followers. So like there's mass DM, there's shilling, where people do like maybe hire someone for $4 an hour going to different Discord servers. talking with people, engaging them. So they get a lot of numbers on their Discord. There's vanity, for vanity, I think. And then on the mint day, they get surprised because they're like, wait, we had all these people, how come they didn't mint? And out of, I want to say 5 brands that they came to me after they didn't do well on their mint day, out of the 5, all 5 of them, they built their Discord and Twitter with MassDM and the type of shilling I was telling you about. Another one I would say is giving away whitelisters with like zero, without asking any commitment. And people like, so let's say the opposite of that, for example, for Women of Crypto, I actually advise them to say, hey, everyone needs to be at least level 5 engager on Discord, and then also invite 2 friends or boost the server a bunch of times, and maybe invite like 5 friends. So for people who have time, basically engage, who don't have time, they could just basically pay for it. They ended up doing something even crazier. They ended up doing level 10 engager on Discord, and then invite 10 friends, and then also filling out an application. So that actually ended up making it like very certain for us going into the day where whitelisters were minting, knowing that they're actually going to mint because they just showed a huge commitment. So those are some of the big things I would say, I guess, not to do. And of course there's more things, but those are some of the big, I would say, big factors that goes into like how not to do it.
Right. Yeah, it's great. You build a nice community, but if they're full of a bunch of people who aren't going to buy and they've just been shilled to, and it's like that technique has been so beaten that it's like in some cases getting DMs, if you don't have DMs shut off, like you're getting inundated by hundreds of DMs, and it's like I can't even find the servers I want to join, and it kills my love of Discord. I still have to go through, and I bet I got another 200-300 DMs. I finally shut DMs off again because I was in one DM group that said, "Oh, make sure you turn your DMs on to be able to verify to get in this channel," and then I did, and then I forgot to shut it off, and then I just got spammied. So that was just horrible.
Yeah. I mean, it's spammy in nature, and then also it doesn't work. So, I mean, I don't know.
They're not buying.
People do it. Yeah, they're not going to buy. They're just going to say GM on your Discord for one day, and then that's all they're going to do.
Now, is there a way that you found to identify big NFT purchasers or people who have a lot of NFTs, and then on the Ethereum blockchain to be able to reach out to them? Is there some technique on that yet that's maybe inexpensive? Maybe you could mint them something in Polygon or something to let them know about it, or is there any promotional stuff that you've done in that area
to find people who have a lot of money in their wallet? Is that
find people not has a lot of money, but maybe has a lot of NFTs and badass NFTs? Well,
one of the things I ask people to do, and this is obviously things are evolving in the NFT world. Like I have a running joke with some of my friends. I'm like, if I take a day off, like it's almost like being behind for like 10 years. So I think one of the things that I started asking brands to do is actually in the whitelist application, ask people to show us their wallet. And so we ask them, and then we'll actually go and check, first of all, if they have the funding to be able to mint. If they don't, we'll actually send them a message, say, hey, looks like you don't have it. Are you going to have the funding to actually mint, right?
That's smart. That's a smart approach right there. I like that.
Yeah. And so
be able to verify you have that coin in there. Beautiful.
Yeah. And it's also like, it just opens up that conversation. It's like, hey, this is a real thing. Like, we're not just like joking around, just, getting a bunch of wallet addresses into a spreadsheet for no reason. Right. So that's the concept. But then now as we're doing that, we also, that person who's going through those, they're going to find out some people obviously have a lot of NFTs, right? So a lot of things going on in their wallet. And then we would just, so what we've done historically is we would just send them a message and say, hey, like, just basically engage them in a different way. Like, and sometimes even just like give them specific roles on Discord. So for example, for almost every brand that we worked with, we ended up having whales coming into the Discord. And then we would just have them there to be inside a specific channel that was like private to them. they could chat with among themselves as well. I mean, they still would participate in the actual like community, but sometimes they like to have their own close knit community as well. So things like that, if you do, it adds value to them, and then also you could do things for them too. So one of the things, for example, Woman of Crypto did, we basically created a specific NFT for Paris Hilton, sent it her way, and then she retweeted it. And so like things like that you could do. You could just create a specific NFT, send it to a lot of people. I did
So at
that.
this time, you probably have a nice collection of wallets of some of these NFT influencers that you've already done the research on. You know, this ETH address is Paris Hilton's. We know this one's Gary V's because, well, for one, he's got it's verified.
Yeah.
But we know this one's Pranksy. We know this one's Jake Paul. We know this one's whoever. And so that's a nice thing to be able to do, to be able to drop stuff to them.
100%, 100%. And there's also like there's a I think a bunch of websites where they analyze wallets of whales. So you can go there and also check out like what they're doing. Sometimes they link their wallets to a handle, and you can go check out their stuff, kind of connect with them, and engage them, and possibly get them interested in your project as well.
So, what are some of the other things that you do then on Twitter and Discord that aren't spammy to build a massive audience? Because as I'm looking here on your website, which is soldoutnfts.io, you do sell consulting. 20,000 plus Discord in 2 weeks for the Vegas club, the casino club. You sold out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 NFTs of this one. You did a 40-minute call with National Parks NFTs, which I picked up a couple of those aftermarket too, just because I thought they were cool. What are you telling people on these calls? I know you want them to pay you, but give us a teaser.
Cool. Yeah. So as for Discord, I would say my bread and butter is paid ads and paid influencers. So what I like to do is this is a very elaborate structure, but at the very beginning, I like to start the Discord and Twitter with influencers, because you just get a rush of people coming in, and it just creates that huge hype for people. Actually, funny enough, a lot of people like talk negatively about some of the brands, saying like, how come they just have like 1 or 2 posts on Twitter and then they have so many followers? Or like, how come they just open their Discord and they have so many people in the Discord? That's literally been most of the brands I worked with, and it's not fake. Like, for example, Woman of Crypto we had probably like 10,000 Discord members first 4 or 5 days. And it's because of the influencers. So they talk about it. Like, we just had recently another brand like Shattered Orbs. We got an influencer talk about it. We got like probably about 2,000 people just rushing into the Discord. So I think that's the beginning of it. And then what I like to do is to run ads on Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, and Quora. So all those platforms. Now on Instagram, you can actually get new Discord members for about 0.5 to $1 per person. Meaning you run ads directly to Discord, which is, by the way, not something any other platforms you can do. Obviously, it's like you cannot take people to a domain that you don't own. But for whatever reason, Instagram just going after their own rules, letting you actually run ads directly to Discord. So that's one of the ways. Like, currently, a lot of people that I consult, they're getting a lot of members. Now, there's pros and cons with people from Instagram, because a lot of them could be like newbies. So then you have to like have good education inside the Discord to show them how to do things. But then if you are sure that you don't want newbies in your Discord or Twitter, then the best way is Reddit, Quora, and Twitter. So those are the platforms to run ads on. Of course, they have like an approval process for NFT ads. Not everyone can run NFT ads on them, so on and so forth. But the cool things with Twitter, for example, you can literally scrape usernames of a specific influencer or a brand, and then upload it on Twitter as an audience, and then run ads to it. So, for example, for Woman of Crypto, I ran ads to a brand on OpenSea that's on, I would say, on top 40, that it has a similar audience. I think people could figure it out to figure out like what brand that is. And because we knew like if we basically target their followers, they're gonna have that interest to come and follow us as well, and possibly mint from our project as well. The other thing like happened was like we found out randomly like a lot of people from the project Doodle, they were in Women of Crypto Discord, so we run ads to Doodle's followers as well. Now this is something a lot of people would do with like mass DM, which is like in a spammy way, and it's also not like not effective really. Like, you know, you basically send volume of messages to a Discord server that you don't own. But with ads, you can just do attraction marketing. You can get in front of people. If they like it, obviously they respond. If they don't, they don't. Does that make sense?
Very good. There's so much to unwrap on all these things here, and there's a lot of different strategies and technologies. And then what about, I know we're wrapping up here on our time, but what about airdrops? I've seen that sometimes airdrops can work pretty well. What are your thoughts on those as a general growing the community, maybe even finding purchasers of your NFTs?
So do you mean airdropping NFTs to like an
like doing
influencer?
like doing a contest, right? Where you're like saying, all right, do this, do that, join our Telegram, join our Twitter.
Yep.
Maybe you win this, because I'm working on a project. We're giving away some USDC, and we're giving away a few mint passes as well.
Yeah.
And then it's basically they got to retweet it, they got to like it, share it with some friends, and then it's like of that we're like fishing for people who are interested.
For sure. For giveaways on Twitter, I like to give away whitelist spots. On Discord, I like to give away NFTs. And then on now, when you give away crypto, the only problem is like you may get people just want crypto or cash, not necessarily want the NFTs. So what I tell people, give away physical things that people care about. So for example, national art, they gave away like postcards or like things like that where people actually cared about. And it was relevant to their project. So I like those better because you attract the right type of people. But the concept of like doing contests inside your Discord, that's awesome. We did that for San Vegas Casino Club. We would do a lot of missions. We would say, hey, go rate this specific post from like this influencer or like on YouTube or Twitter. And then we're going to give away like, NFTs, or we're going to give away like bunch of cash and crypto, and people would just go crazy. People would just like get super excited and do it, and we would also just grow our following like fairly quickly from that.
If you guys want to know more, it seems like Arvin knows what he's talking about. You can go to his website at soldouTNFTs.io and check out some of the case studies and what he's got to offer. Arvin, thanks for coming on today and sharing with us, man, for free. We appreciate that, giving up your time.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
It's not just, just marketing NFTs, it's also just understanding NFTs myself. So I